No Jumper, episode 300. Adam is taking little jabs and shitting on Charlamagne's Lil Baby interview and saying that it looks like he pulled it down. I just don't know if he pulled it down. Was it ever up? Does anybody know if it was ever up?
I never saw the full thing.
I can't confirm it was up.
That's the problem. I mean,
I've only ever seen the clips, and I didn't even really click on those.
but there's 5 minutes of clips. The one of them, remember one was a minute and a half?
Yep.
And then the other one was like 2.5 or 3. It was like, there's only like 5 minutes of
Not even
clips.
like
Yeah.
5 minute.
Yeah, it ain't much at all.
And is it weird to take down the full video and not remove the clips? Like, are you trying to erase it from existence, or are you just trying to get rid of the full body?
That seems
of work?
really backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Leave these 2 clips, but erase the full podcast.
but this is coming from somewhere, because
Because he also said it only got 30,000, and then Lil Baby did his Safe Space podcast,
Which
then he took it down.
yeah, which is what makes like
Timing wise, that does make sense.
Yeah, yeah.
If somebody was to pull their video down, that does make sense. Like, I dropped this, it only gets 30, doesn't even crack 50 or 100.
Yeah.
And then 3-4 days later, Yachty clears 500,000 or $1 million in a day.
is that
It's probably like $1 million, because I think it's at like 1.2 or 2 million now. Yeah.
Is that a losing strategy? Like, because I know, at least for me back in the day in high school, if I could go down a deep interview rabbit hole with the same person. I could watch 𝙿𝙾𝚂𝚃 at the Breakfast Club, and then I could watch him at Vlad, and then it's just like a funneling system.
Right.
So
You're
it's like,
following the person via platform.
why take your hat out the game if there's obviously a market for Lil Baby answering questions right now?
Tariq Nasheed's market is like
Go to Charlamagne's
He
page,
was just
too.
an example too.
yeah, but yeah, okay, yeah.
Just an example of what that could look like. But
Yeah,
the younger-
to where all platforms are valid, because you're gonna go for watch
Academics
all of
had
them.
made a
Yeah, I
point.
feel that. Yeah.
Academics had made a point. He was just like, you know, the younger crowd would much rather see Lil Yachty and Lil Baby talk, other than, you know, Charlamagne and Lil Baby. You know,
Who made that point?
DJ Academics,
King Academics.
the big rat.
Does anybody call him that other than maybe Grand?
Only you, because you respect him.
Nah, that's just what one of his YouTube channels.
You love him, but
I don't know
that's
if
the
I
point.
believe. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I accept that excuse.
You don't think so?
I don't accept it really. You know what I mean? Like,
Because
Wait, which excuse?
Articulate it again.
Academics was pretty much saying people would just. It's okay that it has low views because people would just much rather watch Lil Baby. Is that what he was saying?
not that it's okay, but
gotcha,
just
okay.
the reasoning. You know what I
Gotcha,
mean?
okay, just an
Because
explanation on why we're here.
If in a world where
Gotcha,
this is
okay.
true, where he pulled it down, because when Adam said it, I'm like, I'm gonna take his word for it, because
Right,
there's no
yeah.
reason for him to lie like that. Like,
White men don't lie,
yes.
and they can jump really
That's why
high.
I can't believe it 100%. I need to know whether the episode came out or not,
Let's
because
just-
Adam will just say some shit
Yes,
to assist his
For
back
sure.
kick.
yes, but when it's in competition with somebody who he deems as close to his level,
Yeah.
he wants to keep it as fair as possible.
And
so
this-
it's a fair win. You
Yeah,
know?
and this overall opened up the point of I think the conversation he was trying to have on here was, is the new media just whooping old media's ass?
yes,
Essentially, like, I think that's the valid conversation. I think that's the conversation he was trying to have, and
Yeah.
I there's a piece of that.
It's one of those instances where you have a feeling, and then you sit, you wait, and the internet produces something that proves you right.
I think Charlamagne is also suffering from his success. Like, he just believes he has to hit the same standard all the time instead of just getting out the mud and just doing what you got to do on your
I believe that, and I think it's also hard as fuck to.
It's hard to
be putting up championships every
Yeah.
time, and then
you see the numbers go down.
You see
like
the number
that.
go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like,
It's hard.
Not all of them are going to be that.
Not all of them are going to be that. And how hard are you working on getting these home runs?
Right.
That's
Nothing,
true.
Right.
Nothing that Charlamagne does is marketed well.
No.
Yeah, he markets
that might
like
just
a
be a
comedian.
blanket statement, but it's almost like he
No,
puts,
I know exactly what you mean.
he just puts things out there, and it's like, you know, he'll go hard for Tamika Mallory's State of the Union.
He goes hard,
He'll go
and we're
hard.
confused on why you're going that hard.
Yeah, but I don't see him going that hard for him. And I think like a part of when he's shouting out people that he's working with, in his head, that is him, because he's a
That
part
is
of these
putting in work.
projects most of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But it is like bringing idiots don't got no billboards.
No.
It's barely spoken of. Like he'll mention it on the Breakfast Club, and he does it a lot more now. But even then, it's not in the like, yeah, go check out my shit.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. The only reason I get 100% what you're saying. The only reason I don't tie brilliant idiots into that is because I feel like the foundation of it was so much this is a different version of me that you're getting on the Breakfast Club, so they don't really go together. You know what I mean? Like, if you really fuck with me, you'll kind of find me here. That just doesn't feel like that podcast has such a cult fan base. I think it would be weird if they start putting billboards up like Joe Budden podcast.
And I say billboards jokingly, but like
I get what you're saying. I get 100% what you're saying though. Yeah, for brilliant idiots, that would feel weird to me.
Can you be known for too many things to where it's like, you know, like how many things is Charlamagne known for? And do they all connect with each other?
Put it this way. He's known for a lot of things, but it's not oversaturated to the point where you don't know what he really cares about. Like a Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's Fear Factor. Joe Rogan's the podcast.
And UFC.
And a billion other UFC.
And comedy.
Then comedy. The last thing, which is probably the one that's the purest to him.
Yeah.
But Charlamagne's resume isn't that saturated. To where you don't think radio hosts last. Is real bad. Yeah.
Charlamagne has like 5 rings, like an NBA player who has 5 rings, but his team is not winning anymore. So he's like touting his rings. So he's always talking about the Breakfast Club as like, I'm national syndicated #1 show, but he's not really like trying to do anything new with his other things.
He's not trying to do anything new.
Like he's not trying to like put the same energy he put into the Breakfast Club into his things.
Well, there's 2 different people putting the energy in too.
There's a lot of different people putting their energy
there's
into
a
the Breakfast
machine
Club.
putting energy behind that.
That's true.
And then the other one, it's you have to build and keep the machine well.
He's built the resources and seems like he has the relationships.
If he doesn't have a machine, what does he have?
He has iHeart.
He has him. The name is strong as fuck.
He has a Dora Milaje, nigga.
Yeah.
He has him. Charlamagne the God is such a powerful stamp that you put on anything, but that's where you rely too much on the name. And you slack on the grassroots promotion.
I don't think Charlamagne slacks on the grassroots promotion.
I think that's what we're. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do.
He does.
For sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He'll market his book very well.
Yes.
You'll see that everywhere. It'll be in the background of every studio he records in.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, and Black Effect. Black Effect gets spoken of all the motherfucking time.
But like other little
in terms of
niche things.
out of context,
personal content, like
out of
context.
Personal,
Brilliant Idiots.
The personal interview,
really
the one-on-one interviews.
Yep.
The one-on-one interviews. And it's also, he became legendary as a radio host, but also what the main thing that we like that was shining was the fact that he was such a good interviewer.
Yep.
But we always got a different version of him when he started doing those one-on-one interviews that started going crazy viral too. Like the one where he had with like Kanye, like walking around, like all his
when
one-on-one.
He was in Wyoming, right?
Or when he was with Schoolboy Q on the rooftop. Like all his one-on-one interviews have never been the same energy that we got from his interviews at the Breakfast Club. Obviously because there's more people, it's different, but one has always outshined the other, I will say. You know what I'm saying?
And it always makes sense.
Even though he's great at both, but one shines brighter than the other.
It always makes sense which one though, because it's like, which one is bringing in the most bag?
It's that. It's also just the fact that the cup that he's in at the time. Like at the Breakfast Club, he's wearing more hats.
Right.
Like he's not just an interviewer. He has 2 other people there asking questions. So sometimes it's his job to just say the funny shit or address the elephant in the room.
Address the elephant in the room. Let everybody else smooth it out.
Yeah.
I think it is a little bit of the new media, old media thing too. Because I would say that we've said it on this show before. Just like. The thing that I've always been confused why Charlamagne hasn't done is transition into the Joe Rogan level of things and less of the question and answer classic interview one-on-one Oprah style interview and transition and worked more of the just open communication. Obviously all these things, all these things are communication, but the laid backness of it, the less of I have these questions that I'm gonna get off, more flowing. You can still have your questions, but does that make sense?
The same thing Kamala didn't focus on.
And I think also what's also gonna inhibit him as well, too, if you've watched I think the old media versus new media thing is possibly relying too much on what's always worked for you. At this point, I've watched enough Charlamagne, and I feel like a lot of people who've watched him consistently throughout the years, we can telegraph the questions that are coming. You know what I mean? We know what direction based on what this person says, I know probably what he's going to ask next. I know where he's going to start. He's always going to start where your mental health is at. You know what I mean? I can telegraph a lot of these things, the flow of the conversation, because it's copy and pasted so much.
And it's always going to work because it's always going to be somebody new and popular that people want to hear about.
It might not always work though, because if you're in a position, if this full episode did come out and then you took it down,
if Adam's not lying,
then obviously it's losing a little bit of its luster. You know what I'm saying? Because the Yachty interview was a flowing ass convo.
That was great.
It was great. It was a flowing ass convo. He asked a lot of questions, but it really just looked like two niggas that fuck with each other talking.
It was like they was back in Atlanta.
Exactly. Chilling.
Yeah,
And just
at the Dungeon
a mic
studio.
and a camera just happened to be in the room. That's how, which I think that's what shines as a new interviewer, is when it feels like a GoPro just got set up and niggas just happen to have mics.
It also,
I feel like that's what made podcast. That's what appealed so much about podcasting in general.
It was raw.
It was raw.
Yeah.
That long form. That flow. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I think that hurts a lot of old media, Charlamagne, Elliott's, because they're still going into it with this is how I did things. This is how I've done things. This is what got me all my championships over the last 10, 20, 15 years. Whatever. You know?
Excuse me. I also think if he took more of a podcast approach to that solo content, it would be better off.
Yeah,
Because it's
100%.
structured
Yeah.
like a Larry King BBC televised interview to where they set up. So fucking it's black and white. There's probably 1, 2 cameras in there. They're on stools.
Yeah.
If it was more just like a conversation instead of an interview, we would get that Charlamagne that people be begging for in interviews. Because ultimately, the way they was doing interviews at the Breakfast Club, it was a podcast. It was more conversational style. It wasn't a formal. So let's start with this one, and then after that,
But
Angela.
why hasn't he ever transitioned
approach.
that?
what is
Why hasn't he ever done that for his own solo content? That is just so strange to
Yeah.
me.
Because he only watches us when we say things that he don't like.
No. I'm
Instead of
talking
when we saying the real shit.
No, yeah. I mean, that's always been a fact. But I'm just saying, like, why the fuck hasn't he done that though? You know what I'm saying?
so basically like a Shannon Sharp style?
Shannon's nope. Shannon,
He's become more communicative. He's
Nah.
become. Is that right?
I ain't gonna do you
He's
like that,
become more.
Charlamagne.
No, that's not right.
I ain't
That's
gonna
not
do you
right.
like that.
That's not a
I ain't
real
gonna do
thing.
you that dirty, nigga.
He's become more
He's
like
got cue
conversational. I mean,
Nah, not he's cue card reliant.
not. It
And funny
depends
quips.
on who he's talking to, because he can be like, "Well, goddamn, I might have to throw these goddamn."
God, I hate that.
Yeah. He's quips.
I hear it. I hear it. But just now, oh, come on now.
Yeah.
It just made me
Yeah.
fucking cringe for a second.
Jigaboo Shannon.
Yeah, bro. I don't like that shit.
He's just like
I'm
accent and
over
quips.
it.
Just his accent is enough.
Yeah.
That's
It was
all
cool
is.
at first.
To be-
I'm tired of seeing that.
Nigga,
Come
tongue
on,
too big for
man.
his mouth.
Come on, man.
For him to be a football player, he don't really change directions very fast.
Yeah, not at all, bro.
Yeah.
But Wiz, but what was the most influential, Wiz? Where did you live? Wiz, hey, look, nigga, Pittsburgh. How many times I have to tell you, nigga?
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Charlamagne also has to talk to people that he actually cares about. Like, I'm pretty sure he cares about Lil Baby, but
Yeah.
he probably don't really give a fuck about Lil Baby. Like how he gives a fuck about LL Cool J. Somebody from his era he watched. It's a
not
little bit
even-
more personable.
I
I
don't
think
know,
he
but
gives
the
a fuck about Lil Baby. I think with this
Yeah.
whole out of context thing, he's actually interviewing people he might
only
care
gives
too
a-
much about.
Yeah, right,
That's probably what it
yeah.
is.
To the point where it's not like a not
not
to say it's a
genuine
fluff
almost.
piece, but it's just
It's like the Kamala thing. It's like what he said with the Kamala thing. Hey, Vice President, Madam Vice President, I know you don't have a lot of time, but let's go ahead and just disprove some of these myths because they're out here just lying on you. It's what all the interviews are like that, where it's like, okay, we're not don't be here for as an advocate.
Yeah.
We know you're an advocate already. Just flow
Just
with
flow,
that shit.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
he's gracefully laying people's head down to rest,
Yeah.
making sure they're comfortable. That's not the worst thing.
Is
to
that
do
our fault as
And
viewers, though?
it's not all young nigga shit because the Glorilla one went off.
It did.
The
It went
Glorilla
good.
one did good for like what he gets typically on his channel.
Yeah.
That's
228.
yeah, and then I think it was
Okay.
another one. I don't know about the Kevin Hart
Kevin
thing.
Hart
It just
did
is-
300.
It
Well,
did,
when he
yeah, the
brought
Kevin
Cat
Hart one.
Williams, it did pretty good
And the Big Sean one did good too.
against all
Yeah,
odds.
395.
Yeah.
Nah,
So
Big
did
Sean
LL,
actually
yeah.
did amazing.
Yeah, the Big Sean one went up too. So it's not all of them.
AJ watched 100,000 times.
So are we being a little harsh because this is
I'm only well,
For
we
the
can't
most
be
part-
harsh just because we don't know if he actually deleted it. If he deleted it, that's
with that, but just in
yeah,
terms of
that's
like,
crazy.
Yeah,
You gotta
the
stay.
viewership.
You gotta stay in that 30,000.
But are we just the viewers who are looking for a podcast type conversation when niggas really just trying to give us interviews?
No, I think it's I think podcasting and just that style of conversation I mean, Howard Stern's been doing it forever.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just I think we've always known what we've naturally liked the most.
True.
And it's just you accept it less later. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, a lot of times with content, we could be sheep. Like we might only be primed in this era for that auto dialogue, Vlad TV style of yes, it's just you in the frame, but it feels like the person asking the questions is to the left of the camera, like they literally sitting right up on it, and that's the only way we can accept interviews now. Because when you think about all the interview platforms that go real crazy, like Vlad, Art, DJ Small Eyes, it's that, but it isn't this. This is a little different. This is a little bit more old timey.
Or on the porch.
So you know what I was just thinking too? I'm just trying to figure out like what solo one-on-one thing is he gonna do that's gonna be like, what could he do that's actually like, damn nigga, this shit is fire as fuck. You know what I mean? Just fire. Because even when he was doing Go Down, these hero one, it's not, I don't think he called it the hero series, but like, you know, Judy Bloom, keep going. It's gonna change completely. It's gonna change a different color. Yeah, these down here. These were different. They were at different locations and shit like that. And then keep going. And then I remember, maybe he only did that with Kanye, where he was like walking the campus grounds.
Yeah.
But you know what made me think of that? With the whole walking and interviewing thing, I haven't seen anybody do that successfully yet, except Big Boy. That's the only one that I've actually enjoyed, where they're like walking around.
And any regular news program back in the day.
Oh yeah, like a Vice documentary.
Vice, but even just regular news, like you I don't remember what publication it was, but when they was walking with Tupac down Venice Beach, news used to do segments like that where it was just like more IRL content. Yeah.
And Charlamagne, he cares about, he comes from that style of production. So in his head, if he's gonna be with us commoners, he's gonna at least bring that style of production to YouTube. And I think that's his whole idea with like his version of what he's trying to do with this interview series.
Oh wait, he's giving us peasant content? Is that what you're saying? Because we're peasants?
Well, I wouldn't say peasant content, but he's trying to make expensive caviar like palatable to, you know, regular niggas, which can be hard at times. You know what I mean? It's expensive caviar.
I don't know, man.
Come on, man. You a hater.
I'm not. That was. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I just don't know about that.
I'm just because just look at
me cake.
Yeah, I just don't know about that.
Because just like Charlamagne, I wonder if being on YouTube is like insufferable for him.
It might be that. It might be that.
Like almost like being a pregnant stud. Like you're just stuck in this limbo. It feels like forever.
Like he hates that shit. Like but once he starts taking it more seriously, then he'll be an advocate for it. But he only had negative things to say about it for forever. But funny thing, going back to like him weekly promoting and shit, this is a funny. This is kind of funny. One time I was talking to this nigga, and I was talking about how the Black Effect Instagram channel was not run good. Like I'm like, bro, this shit trash. Like it's low key trash. Like I'm like on some real shit. Like if you can get anybody, you need to get somebody that'll make your page look like this on Instagram. Yeah, because it'll get more views.
Taylor, what the fuck you doing?
Yeah. So look, I'm like, bro, you got like 82,000 followers. Niggas got 50 likes. That's crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, nigga, you got 40 likes on this post. He was like, so are you a failure? I said, technically, I am. I am a failure, but
failing upwards.
I only have 2,000 people following me, nigga. It doesn't look as bad. But yeah, he doesn't. The self-promotion shit is trash, bruh. Whoever they be having just like putting that shit together, they do not do it right.
Yeah, whenever companies get too big, they lose focus.
Just posting is not enough anymore.
It's crazy because
just posting is not enough.
He has
anymore.
Andrew Schultz there, and Schultz is doing it well.
I'm not going to ask him about that, though.
He should, though.
You ain't going to ask?
Nope.
Yeah, now Vala is busy.
All right, let's see.
Yo, did y'all see Charlamagne on 520 podcast? I said, what the fuck am I talking about? Charleston White on the 520 podcast?
No,
I didn't watch it.